fascinating piece of body language. De La Hoya refusing even to glance at Whitaker, even during the referee's instructions when they stood 2 feet away from each other, more or less face to face. De La Hoya looking upward in what I take to be a tribute to his deceased mother.
When I see Whitaker is going to work the jab and try to work Oscar's body early.
There have been 3 clinches in the first 30 seconds, indicating again that Whitaker is going to try to frustrate the younger fighter.
Whitaker showing the jab early and lateral movement. He jabs twice, moves to his right, jabs 3 times, moves to his right. De La Hoya not yet finding a chance to throw a combination. Tentative right hand by De La Hoya there. He sticks the jab without a lot of conviction.
Watch the heads in there. Come on. Hey.
Remember, in the early rounds against Miguel Angel Gonzalez, De La Hoya looked as though he wanted to take Gonzalez's head off with the jab. He hasn't thrown one of those laser shots yet. There's the first left hook, and Whitaker partially blocked it with his shoulder. And again. It's going to be awfully hard, as Roy Jones pointed out earlier, for De La Hoya to land a left hook.
Whitaker is doing a smart thing by using his jab and attacking Oscar first.
Watch out! All right, let him go. Hey!
Right hand punches in close by De La Hoya. He's going to have to use the right hand to win the fight, and you saw him doubling up with it there. Now a right hand lead by De La Hoya.
Good body shot by Pernell Whitaker.
Southpaw against conventional fighter. It's always fascinating to see which man will appear to be comfortable with the style confrontation first. And so far in this round, if anybody appears comfortable, it's Whitaker.
Because he's done it so many times over and over again.
The first surprise here is that Whitaker has been probably a little bit more the aggressor than De La Hoya.
Harrying with each other as round 1 comes to a close. When we go to Oscar De La Hoya's corner, where trainer Jesus Rivero speaks Spanish, our interpreter is Ray Torres.
You need to use that weight. You need to be moving. Don't get too close to him.
No le aceptes esa pelea, chavo. Ten pendiente, no muy parado.
Don't be standing up too high.
Okay?
Take a step backwards.
Estás muy parado.
You're standing too tall. You got to move your waist.
Tú te das cuenta, cuando va a entrar, paso atrás. Pum, lo haces fallar, todo lo golpeas. Lo tienes que pintar, chamo.
You got to feint him.
No le aceptes esa pelea en más en corto e inclinándote por el lado.
There you see the father of Oscar De La Hoya yelling instructions to his son. His son often looks back to see what his father thinks of what's happening.
Joel De La Hoya, the man who first got Oscar into boxing when he was 5.5 years old. In round 1, by CompuBox numbers, Pernell Whitaker's southpaw stance nullified De La Hoya's jab. De La Hoya landing only 1 of 14 jabs in the round. And that speaks to the Whitaker camp strategy, Larry, of taking away Oscar De La Hoya's dominant left side.
Yep. If a team can beat you with the passing game, you try to take it away and make them beat you with the running game. He's trying to take away the strength of De La Hoya, which up until this point in his career has been that rapier left hand.
Whitaker getting low and peeking up at De La Hoya, trying to keep his head and body moving side to side to stay away from De La Hoya while he tries to bob up toward punching opportunities. Hard right hand to the body by De La Hoya. Whitaker comes back to the straight left.
You can see that De La Hoya is much more robotic than Whitaker, who improvises.
Good counter by De La Hoya. Good counter right hand by De La Hoya.
Misses with the left hook. Follows, lands a couple straight right hands. Smiles as Whitaker clowns a little bit for the crowd. De La Hoya almost landed a left hook over Whitaker's right shoulder there. Oscar getting more aggressive. He was tentative in round number 1 as he tried to figure out Whitaker's southpaw style. Now there might be a little mouse already above the right eye of Pernell Whitaker.
It looks as though something is there.
Crowd chanting, Oscar, Oscar, Oscar. Roy, how big an edge do you give to Whitaker in comfort level so far?
Well, now, in the first round, he had a big comfort advantage. This round is not happening as the same. Oscar's making a few adjustments here with his feet to allow himself to be more comfortable in round 2.
And he's throwing the right hand more, which is what he's going to have to do to legitimately attack Pernell Whitaker. Right hand to the body by De La Hoya. Whitaker with a counter left. Oscar keeps trying to land his left hook, which is a hard proposition against Whitaker.
Oscar's getting a little bit impatient here. He wants to hit Whitaker with a good punch, but he can't seem to find a way to hit Whitaker.
Work out, work out, work out.
Here's a way to hit him. 2 right hands inside by De La Hoya. Back Whitaker up. Much better round for Oscar in round number 2. With himself as the round comes to a close. De La Hoya throws his gloves in the air. The crowd rises to applaud.
Just relax, just relax. Look, that was a beautiful round, okay? Don't let this kid take the play away from you.
You up, Ron? Huh?
Yeah, baby, we all right, we all right.
Double up that jab. First 4.
Yeah, you're not the first 4. The first 4 is your fight.
You got to double up that jab and go to the body. Don't be afraid to hurt this guy. Hurt this guy on the inside.
Every now and then, people, when he get close, steal it with that left hand.
I will.
All right, the left hand is right there. Okay? But the jab, just remember, just step the jab and step around. Keep stepping around. All this kid is trying to hit you with the right hand. Now, as soon as you get in the inside, now he's throwing up the uppercuts.
Yeah.
As soon as you get that first, let you do first with the uppercut. Then go to the body second. Okay?
Don't hurt this guy.
So far, it's been mostly a tactical fight. Perhaps it will heat up and we'll get some real spontaneous combustion.
Both fighters, I think, feel as though they want to land some big shots now. So we should start seeing some things happen.
De La Hoya told us yesterday that he wanted to pressure Whitaker in the first 3 rounds because he thought the older man would try to conserve his energy. But he has not been able to penetrate Whitaker's defense enough to put real pressure on him for long periods of time.
No, but he did pressure him good at the end of that last round.
No, the last minute of the second round was definitely De La Hoya's best minute of the first 6. Now Whitaker working the jab again.
2 very good jabs by Whitaker. Because as you can see, from time to time, De La Hoya lowers that left hand.
He does that because he likes to throw the left hook from a low angle. Kind of a half hook, half uppercut. That punch may not work against Whitaker's stance. Hard left hand over the top by Whitaker. De La Hoya still pushing forward. Not throwing as many right-hand leads as perhaps he ought to open Whitaker up.
Because Whitaker's going to Oscar's left, which doesn't allow Oscar to see the right hand as much.
Oh, you step back both of them. Heavy, come on.
Oscar pounding to the body with the left hand.
Come on, work out.
And coming up with an uppercut. You heard both corners asking for uppercuts. De La Hoya landed the first big one. Whitaker goes back to the jab to back him off. Right hand inside landed for De La Hoya.
Step back. Hey,
Hey, no, wait a minute, but don't do this. Come on.
Mills Lane anxious that we don't see a headbutt.
There was a butt right there. I don't know if any blood will come out, but there was definitely a butt.
And Whitaker throws De La Hoya down. That'll be a slip, not a knockdown. An obvious effort to frustrate De La Hoya, and the headbutt has cut De La Hoya under the eye.
It's a butt.
Mills Lane making clear to all the judges it was a butt. De La Hoya shaking his head in disappointment. He's got a cut under the right eye as the result of a Whitaker headbutt.
But it seemed inadvertent, and it doesn't seem that it will bother De La Hoya very much if he doesn't let it bother him.
Sticks the jab straight into his face, but Oscar brought out the artillery in round number 3.
He stayed very calm with that cut, Jim.
Don't get in a rough house with him. Don't be fighting his fight.
Okay?
Let's get more distance. Let's get a lot of distance.
Boxeale un poco. Retrocede, hazlo fallar. Le das un paso lateral y boxándole.
Here's a second look at the butt. As you see Whitaker coming from down, trying to get in close with a good body punch. His head and his left hand landed simultaneously. At the end of the round, De La Hoya turned the tide with that left hook inside, left uppercut, sorry.
This is an excellent fight.
It's a very even fight so far, and it's beginning to boil down to just what we thought it might be, a battle of De La Hoya's heavy artillery against Pernell Whitaker's sophistication and skill. Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 3?
Jim, 29-28, 2 rounds to 1. Oscar De La Hoya, I gave him rounds 2 and 3 based on his better punching. Jim, just in case anybody's interested, the rules of the WBC are you lose a point. The uncut fighter loses a point on an accidental headbutt. I asked Mills Lane, he didn't take a point. So it's 2-1, De La Hoya.
I have the same score.
Still appears there's a slight swelling under the right eye of Pernell Whitaker. De La Hoya, as you can see, has the mouse under the right eye. The blood has been stopped for the moment. Hard right hand by De La Hoya.
Good right hand by Oscar De La Hoya.
And again, Whitaker comes in with the head, and De La Hoya is obviously wary of butts as he stopped punching as Whitaker came in.
That's going to happen a lot because these guys have their power hand is on the same side, therefore their heads will be lined up perfectly when they come into one another. So there are going to be a few butts in this fight. And yes,
it would be horrible to see such a hotly anticipated bout end as the result of a headbutt.
And Whitaker does have a mouse over his right eye.
Now that's his lead eye, so if in fact his vision is affected in the later rounds, that could be an element of the fight. So far in the tactical battle, De La Hoya, at least in the last minute of the rounds, giving as good as he's getting.
But it's a little disappointing to see that De La Hoya, who is stronger, is really not trying to impose his strength on Whitaker. Perhaps he's saving it for later.
Well, you heard his trainer, Jesus Rivero, asking him between rounds to create more distance between himself and Whitaker. Get a lot of distance, he said. Didn't want him to get into a brawl.
Yeah, because it makes it more difficult for Whitaker to hit him, being the shorter of the two fighters.
Whitaker misses over the top with the left hand. De La Hoya showing you his always improving flexibility in the upper body as he ducks and slips. Another right hand lead by De La Hoya as he tries to pick Whitaker apart tactically.
Good right hand by De La Hoya.
Bobbing left to right and then throwing the right hand lead. Obviously something he's worked on specifically for this fight. And De La Hoya flurries at the end of the round. That catches the eye of the judges.
I wonder if they're going to let him steal the round with those last 10-second flurry. Because I thought Whitaker had it until then.
Trying to do in the 4th round, right? Okay, now, it's not part of the fight. Let's put enough pressure on this guy. All right? I know. As soon as you get close to this guy, you got enough uppercut, but you got to come back with it. Please, baby. You go home with that. I'll talk so fast. Okay, look. Just listen to me. Throw that uppercut and bring it.
Con tus pasos laterales, déjalo entrar para recibirlos. No te pares en la pelea así, hazlo trabajar.
There you see Oscar De La Hoya switching southpaw. It had been anticipated that sometime during the fight he would try it. None of that landed. He threw about 8 blows. It looked better than it was. But we have now learned that Mills Lane has taken away a point for that accidental butt because the WBC rules dictate that he does. So that's an additional point for De La Hoya or a point taken away from Whitaker.
Meaning that on the scorecards where De La Hoya was given the 4th round, if in fact he was, he may be 4 points ahead. Hard punches from Whitaker, a right and a left. Whitaker going back to the jab, which served him so well in round number 1, where he threw 41 of them and landed 14. De La Hoya going back to the right-hand lead, which has been his weapon so far, along with the uppercut. Slippage here.
Right on that spot that Larry talked about.
They meet in the center of the ring and go to the body.
Yeah.
How do you have it through 4?
Okay, 39-36, 3 rounds to 1. Oscar De La Hoya. What happens is on an accidental headbutt, the uncut fighter loses 1 point to the WBC. If Mills Lane took that point in the 3rd round, it becomes a 10-8 round for De La Hoya. So Oscar by 3 points.
Whitaker's eye continues gradually to swell. That's the right eye. De La Hoya not having switched to the southpaw stance at any time in this round. He swore to us yesterday that he hadn't worked on it in training and wouldn't do it, but you saw him do it at the end of the preceding round. Whitaker always so good at choosing his opportunities while backing up and drawing you in. Wildly to everything De La Hoya attempts. Missed punches, drawing almost as much approval as those which land.
Whitaker trying to box De La Hoya a little more now, trying to land a few more punches on him to get to him. He's jabbing more, he's slipping more.
This has been Whitaker's best round to this point.
But still he isn't landing a whole lot, Larry.
Not a whole lot, but he's landing more than De La Hoya right now.
If he's winning the round, he's winning it more with ring generalship than he is with clean punching.
And that jab right there.
But he's landed more punches than De La Hoya, from my viewpoint.
He's basically winning this round with the jab.
Here's the switch to southpaw again. He used it to flurry at the end of the last round. Stays in the southpaw stance, jabs with the right hand. And remember, De La Hoya is a natural southpaw who fights in a right-hand position. His left hand is his strongest hand. When he goes southpaw that way, he gets to throw the left as a cross, as a power punch.
He's used to, southpaws are not used to the left hand coming at them.
How are you feeling? Are you okay? Listen up. If you change to the southpaw, you got to feint him. If you turn southpaw, then you got to do that bending and hit him with the right and then come back with the left hook. You got to have that bending and then the combination.
Stop. Hey, stop. Relax in the corner. Relax. Cool. Listen to me. Now listen to me. Okay, just listen to me. Keep snapping the jab. Keep snapping the jab like you're doing. The jab is beautiful. As soon as you get closer, just all you might do is let both hands go with the guy and get a case in the body shot in. Okay? That's all I'm asking. I ain't asking for nothing more than
If Whitaker, sorry, if De La Hoya really thought he was going to walk through Whitaker.
Now he starts around in the southpaw stance.
I wonder what he thinks now.
Left hand to the body by De La Hoya. Is he going to fight the full round in the southpaw stance? He is, and he lands a straight left to Whitaker that backs him up.
Now, why would a fighter who has been a great young fighter like De La Hoya feel he's got to change his natural best style against Pernell Whitaker, Roy?
A confidence booster. He's trying to show Whitaker that he can do anything that he wants to do in here. This is the way. This is part of the head game schemes that go on.
But I haven't seen any positive result from this switch. It looks good. It's flashy, but I don't see him landing any real punches.
I see a positive result. He gets to throw his best punch, the left hand, from a power position. Now he goes back to the conventional stance. And of course, as Roy pointed out, southpaws aren't used to facing other southpaws and seeing the left hand come at them.
No, they're not. They're used to seeing right-handers most of the time because 90% of the time, that's what they'll be in with. Training and fighting.
There he goes back to the southpaw stance. Whitaker misses over the top. You would think that Pernell Whitaker would want to attack him constantly when he's in this southpaw stance to test what would be an inexperienced defense.
Yep, he doesn't want to run into Oscar's left hand. He knows that's Oscar's best punch.
And there you go. That's the reason for the southpaw stance.
Well, that was the first real punch he landed.
I don't agree. I think he's landed 2 or 3 other good
ones. You saw that Whitaker tried to hit him with a big left hand, missed it, and De La Hoya brightly came back with his own right.
De La Hoya switching back and forth throughout this 6th round. Southpaw, conventional, back to southpaw. Whitaker not punching as often in this round, now goes back to working the jab. Goes to the conventional stance. De La Hoya throws the straight right hand. Whitaker short with most of these jabs. There's one that landed. And a couple of left hands as he held on to De La Hoya's left arm. Mills Lane trying to gain command of the fight.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. He's making a move on him, and he's catching him when he's got him off balance. Just like when he relaxes inside, Oscar De La Hoya's hitting him with a right or a left uppercut.
Hard left hand by Whitaker there. Closing seconds of round 6, halfway through, a tactical battle between the 2 great welterweights.
You put a little bit of pressure on the guy. All right. We got it. Very close fight. Very close fight. We in the fight, baby. You understand? We are in the fight, okay?
We're gonna win it.
I know we're gonna win it. I know damn well we're gonna win it. I know you exactly what you're doing. All right? I just keep scoring points with the jab. That left hand.
No.
Joe, just leave it alone. That's okay. Don't worry about it. No. Don't stop getting pressure with that, Joe. All right? Leave it alone. Now, look, listen to me. Just relax, baby. Look, you're looking beautiful out there. I know you got. I see it. I see it. All right.
I feel you, baby.
I know you feel me. I feel you too. We're together. We're together.
That's Ronnie Shields, who's doing all the talking in Whitaker's corner. Co-trainer along with Lou Duva.
You need to stay get on your left side, but be careful. Don't crouch so much.
Good look at the slightly swelling right eye of Pernell Whitaker. The mouse under De La Hoya's right eye has not yet been a problem for him since he incurred that as the result of the headbutt earlier in the fight. In round 6, 12 of Whitaker's 19 connected punches were jabs. De La Hoya landing many more power shots. Let's check in one more time with Harold Letterman. How do you have it halfway through?
Jim, I got it very close. 3 rounds apiece, 57-56, Oscar De La Hoya, based on the 1 point that referee Mills Lane took away on that. Really, I don't. It's a bad rule, but it was the accidental headbutt.
I agree with you, Harold. It was an accidental headbutt, but it was below the eye. It did no serious damage and has not affected the
Larry,
fight.
let me explain it. The president of the WBC, Jose Suleiman, insists that if a guy gets an accidental headbutt, he has to even it out somehow or another. So he takes a point from the uncut fighter. That's his justification for it. I don't believe it's the fair thing to do. An accident is an accident.
I think if the cut is in a place where it may show up to be something in the future, a point should be taken. But if it's not, then I think the fight should be left alone.
Another thing that sometimes happens between southpaws and conventional fighters when they get their feet tangled up. Now Whitaker completely turns his back on De La Hoya as De La Hoya chases him with right-hand power shots. Pernell goes back to the jab.
De La Hoya has to make sure that he doesn't get frustrated or over-anxious right here at this point. This is the type of tactics that can make him get frustrated and get him out of his head. Whitaker is used to this type of stuff.
More and more, Whitaker seems to be loading up and trying to land one big left-hand shot, which could change things in the bout.
A good body shot by Whitaker.
Excellent body punch, one of his best in several rounds.
Yeah. The fight would look better for Whitaker in the later round.
Straight right hand by De La Hoya stops Whitaker's progress there.
Roy, do you see any age showing on Whitaker?
Just in some of his punches sometimes. He's just a little bit wider than he was in his younger days, but not much. But everybody's going to show a little bit of age.
By keeping his distance, as De La Hoya does,
De La Hoya has a nosebleed right now.
He misses the chance to try to use his greater size to push Whitaker around, knock him off balance, try to get into his head with a little manhandling. Lands a long right hand there.
Remember tonight, though, Whitaker is the heavier of the two fighters right now.
De La Hoya with a trickle of blood out of the right nostril. Product of Pernell Whitaker's jab. And De La Hoya smiling at Whitaker and offering a physical barb as he goes back to his corner. I think Whitaker's getting into his head.
You're standing too still.
I know he's getting into his head a little bit.
Tell me the truth. Are you tired?
Así, pequeños brinquitos y pum.
Okay, you got to move around.
De que él tire, cuando él tire.
Be aware when he's throwing the punches.
Okay, cuando él tire, paso atrás y pum.
When he throws the shot, move back and connect. Let's see if we can dominate him now.
All right, here is the tackle in the middle of this rather gentle tactical fight. I'm not sure what De La Hoya is celebrating. This has hardly been his finest hour, but it isn't over.
Come on, Lou.
The fighters are getting a little closer to one another now, and we should start looking for some bigger shots to be landed. Another thing I noticed, Whitaker is not picking that right foot up nearly as much as he used to do tonight.
Punch-stat numbers through round 7. Scorer's nightmare. Whitaker landing more punches and landing at a higher percentage rate. De La Hoya with a huge edge in power shots, landing 85 hooks and crosses and uppercuts to only 36 for Whitaker. What do you like? More punches or harder punches?
I can't say that I've seen that many hard punches. I got to disagree with the numbers there. There you saw De La Hoya slip on that canvas, which we pointed out earlier was a little slippery. I haven't seen him land 85 hard punches, certainly not cleanly.
You don't land that kind of punches on Pernell Whitaker.
De La Hoya hasn't used the left jab all that much since the second or third round. Goes back to it momentarily there.
Good right hand counter by De La Hoya.
Excellent. strikes me, if Whitaker is going to win a decision against De La Hoya and outbox him, he's got to be busier. And to me, he does not look markedly busier than the younger fighter at this point.
Well, he can't just go in there and be busy against De La Hoya. De La Hoya is too big of a puncher for that. He has to be very economical in what he does. He knows that.
Whitaker lamenting the missed left, and De La Hoya coming forward to say, take a couple of right hands to go with that.
De La Hoya was caught with a right hook coming in just then himself. Both fighters, I think, are fighting a very smart fight.
Got a left hook in, not easy to do. Whitaker smiles. Can almost guarantee you that means that thudding left hook did some business.
You know it's not a great fight when the fighters have time to smile after they land their punches.
It's still a tactical battle. That punch blocked by De La Hoya. Whitaker pawing with the jab. Straight right hands as Oscar tries to flurry again in the closing seconds of the round. Whitaker lands the last punch.
You're behind in fight, man.
Come on. Okay, wait till
No,
we're telling you the truth.
I'm telling you right
That's
now.
okay.
I'm telling you right now. We're behind in the fight.
You're
All right, I'm
one
just
round
telling you right
down.
now.
Okay. You want to
Okay.
tell you the truth, don't you? I'll lose again. No. You're going to win. You're going to knock this guy out.
Win the fucking
You're
fight.
going to punch. That's all. Punch. Don't.
No.
Jab. You gotta feint him. When you feint it, and throw that uppercut or follow.
Si te pones a la zurda,
If you turn left, make sure you get the uppercut.
Que le claves tu uppercut. A ver si puedes. Mira.
Here you see that these fighters are so happy sometimes when they either land or miss a punch that they're gesturing. That means there's just not enough punches landing. There's a good left hook by De La Hoya. There was an odd exchange which we didn't get all together in Whitaker's corner, in which one of his handlers says, you're behind in this fight, and Whitaker, who I believe thinks he was ahead, is saying, well, then I'm going to lose. Meaning that if he's got to do something else except what he's doing, he doesn't know if he can do it.
Right. You can't get into a verbal battle in the corner. You have to stay out of that. You just have to tell him what he's doing wrong and try to tell him, okay, you might be behind. You can't just say you're losing. The guy doesn't want to hear that, and he's out there fighting his heart out.
You're right, Roy.
Well, it's a very talkative corner. They've been together a long time, and Pernell has very special relationships with both Ronnie Shields and Lou Duva. So I'm sure they would say to you, we can do our business our way. The one criticism I would have, you saw the punch stat numbers that show that only in one round in the fight has Whitaker thrown as many as 60 punches. I don't think he can beat De La Hoya throwing 44 punches a round.
Yeah, but how many is De La Hoya throwing?
About 40 or 44.
Yeah, but how many more landing?
Go spin. Come on, get that spin. Come on, let's go.
How many is he landing, though, Chip?
He's landing fewer than Pernell.
There you go. So
But his
economically, you have a good fight.
landed punches have more effect.
Well, you say.
We shall see. Like I said, scorer's nightmare.
You're right, because you can't really tell what
We could
you
see
like.
three wildly different scorecards at the end of this fight.
Because it's according to what you like. You're right there. That's what makes boxing so different.
Well, Oscar De La Hoya may win this fight, but you can't say that his introduction into the welterweight division has been a huge success so far.
Well, he picked the toughest fight he could possibly pick to enter the division.
You're right there.
Goes back to the southpaw stance, does De La Hoya.
I have to even argue that.
That could have been scored a knockdown.
It is a knockdown. It is a knockdown.
It is a knockdown.
Yes, it is a
Knockdown, De La Hoya's knee touching the canvas, and that will affect the scorecards too.
So that gets back that point taken away from Whitaker if we have a 2-point round.
And De De La Hoya, at this moment, may be regretting having gone to the southpaw stance as he wound up losing his balance and went down from a very light blow.
It's like a trick play in football. What's the point? You do what you do best, especially if you think you're younger and you're stronger.
Whitaker lefts to the body. De La Hoya rights upstairs. De La Hoya lands the left. Goes in and attacks Whitaker's body, and Pernell comes back with counter shots.
Turning into a good fight.
Turning into a fight, that's for sure.
¿Por qué no lo dominas a la distancia, chavo?
Oscar, how come you're not dominating at the distance?
No.
Are you tired?
Entonces, ¿por qué no lo dominas
Then
a la
what?
distancia?
You need to dominate the distance. Let's not get in a dog fight here.
No lo fintas. ¿Por qué no lo
You're not
fintas?
fainting him at all.
Si te pones a la...
You'll see it was a short left inside with De La Hoya, I believe, a little bit off balance right there. A punch put him on the floor. Not a great punch, but a punch. And that's what a knockdown is.
Definitely.
Very good round for Whitaker. He threw 59 punches. That's the kind of punch output he needs to keep De La Hoya back on his heels. Three rounds to go in what you would suspect is a close fight. Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Jim, very, very close. 5 rounds to 4. Oscar De La Hoya, 85-84 in points. A 1-point lead for De La Hoya. I like his power shots, but I want to tell you something, Jim. He's got very poor traction. He's wearing an unconventional boxing shoe, meaning De La Hoya, and I think that he slipped when he got hit. If you go down on the end of the punch, it's a knockdown. Those Lane pulled it correctly. But I'm telling you, he's been slipping the whole fight with those shoes.
Do you suspect, Harold, that all 3 judges would have given Whitaker a 10-8 round there?
I really think they should. The referee did call it a knockdown. It was a clean knockdown. He went down on the end of the punch. There's no reason not to give Whitaker a 10-8 round.
I didn't ask if they should. Do you think they would?
Yes.
Good right hand by De La Hoya. Neither fighter's too busy now, Jim. I think they're looking to land big punches right now.
Whitaker's trying to land a straight left. De La Hoya is trying to land a right-hand lead. Whitaker popping De La Hoya with the jab as Oscar tries to come in.
Whatever the outcome of this fight, against one of the best young fighters in the world, the 33-year-old Pernell Whitaker is holding his own, which gives you an idea of just how great he was in his prime.
Good shot by De La Hoya.
Whitaker keeps going forward here. De La Hoya gets a chance to counter effectively. But again, Whitaker lands the jab. De La Hoya lands a power shot in return.
Now De La Hoya is boxing like Hurtado fought Whitaker.
And Whitaker had nothing but trouble with Hurtado before he knocked him out in the 11th.
Now he's doing something that he should have been considered doing all night long.
Which is?
Moving in boxing. Don't try to trade Whitaker. Make Whitaker come at him and then do like Hurtado did.
Why shouldn't you trade with him? You're stronger than he is. You're younger than he is. You're supposed to be quicker than he is.
Supposed to. Doesn't have the experience to trade Whitaker like that. He's a superb fighter, but he doesn't have that kind of experience where he just trade with Pernell Whitaker.
Great flurry by De La Hoya to end the 10th. Whitaker gets a couple body shots back in return.
They got 2 rounds to go.
How we feeling now? You feel like the champ or what? Huh? All right, baby, all right. We got 2 rounds left. 2 rounds. 2 rounds left is all we got. 2 rounds, baby. 2 fucking rounds. That's
2 rounds, Pete. 2 rounds. You gotta throw punches.
He's got to be more tired than you. We only got 2 rounds to go. All you got to do is lateral movement. If you turn southpaw, make sure you bend and then hit him with the right hand. Come on, you know you got to do that. You know that. Let's go with it. The right hand is going to do it for you, but you got to throw it.
I wish they would just tell Oscar De La Hoya, go out and win the fight, Ted.
Not easier said than done, Larry. When you're out there with a guy who knows what he's doing.
But I mean, instead of all this technical mumbo-jumbo, bend at the waist, by this time in the fight, he knows what he can do and what Whitaker could do. He's got to impose himself on this old guy.
It's not that easy when you have an old guy that won't let you impose yourself on him. Whitaker's not going to back down to nobody. If you've been in there a couple of times with a guy like that, when you see guys who have hung around for long periods of time, it's because they have strong inner self. He's a very strong inside person. He's not going to let nobody come in there and just walk over him.
Now, what about De La Hoya bouncing here to begin the 11th and perhaps trying to communicate to Whitaker that he's still got his legs and he's going to be able to out-muscle him and outrun him in these last 2 rounds?
This is what he wants to do right here. Outbox Whitaker and try to win the fight on point. He's came to the conclusion that he's not going to hit Whitaker with a big enough shot going at him to knock him out. So he wants to try to outbox Whitaker now. That's what he should have been thinking all night. Whitaker is the older fighter. You don't go out there and try to outmuscle him. You give him a chance to win the fight.
Do you think the judges are going to penalize De La Hoya, as Larry obviously is mentally, for being too cautious?
I don't know. I know he's going to get himself in a dog fight now, though.
Come on.
Body shots from De La Hoya as Whitaker turned and clowned for the crowd. Not sure who Whitaker was looking for over there. Maybe his buddy Evander Holyfield or Mark Breland.
Now he's complaining because De La Hoya was hitting him with a shoulder. Good jab by Whitaker.
Whitaker sticking the jab. Whitaker often commanding the space horizontally, back and forth from side to side. De La Hoya with another relatively cautious round. Switches to the southpaw stance, which I think served him well early, but then later might have gotten him in trouble. Just missed with the left hand, didn't have a lot of snap behind it anyway. Hard left hands for Whitaker, 2 in a row. And another good left hand counter inside for Sweet Pea. Very confident as round 11 comes down the stretch.
Whitaker has to make sure that he doesn't let Oscar catch him when they're like right there tied up. Right when the referee will love to step in and say break, Oscar's trying to hit Whitaker with a good punch.
A fight almost breaks out amid this tactical boxing match, but the bell stops it. 1 round to go.
If you want it, it's right there for you. It's right there for you, baby.
I don't want to. Okay. No, Pete, listen.
It's right there for you.
They're doing beautiful, right? But this round can decide the fight.
Let's win.
Okay, then do it. Let me get this over.
Just give me a deep drop. Give me a deep drop.
You got to be in the outside.
I just want to stop the bleeding.
Cuando cambias golpes, tienes que hacer bending cambiando golpes. No solo así, 1 y 2.
Keep snapping the jab out. When you get close, the guy's just trying to out-hustle you now. This kid ain't got shit left. You understand?
He's going to come out punching, Pete.
You got to be in a good balance. With anything, you can grab this guy. You can hit him with anything. Throw the punches.
De La Hoya has always been a very good closer. There you see his father. The balance could hang here.
Whitaker seems to have this fight under control right now, but he has to make sure that he doesn't get knocked out here in this last round.
It's the 3rd time in Oscar De La Hoya's career that he has gone the 12-round distance in each of the two predecessors against John Molina and Miguel Angel Gonzalez. As Larry told you, he closed out brilliantly with dominant 12th rounds. He starts slowly here. Harold, how do you have it going to the last round?
Jim, I agree with Lou Duba. This is a close fight. 6 rounds to 5, 104, 103, Oscar De La Hoya. I think it's about as close as you can get. I think this 12th is going to decide the fight.
I have Whitaker ahead by about a point myself. I don't know if either fighter deserves to win this fight if it ends this way.
Big flurry for De La Hoya a moment ago. Whitaker looking for tactical opportunities to land that left and keep sticking the right. De La Hoya loves to overwhelm his opponents with energy in the 12th. Hard to do that against a guy whose style is giving you fits, as Whitaker's style is giving De La Hoya fits. So what will it be? The welterweight coronation of the rising golden boy, or the final affirmation of the champion's Hall of Fame status? A minute and a half left for Pernell Whitaker to make one more great statement on his career, or for Oscar De La Hoya to begin building a bridge to immortality.
I think it's going to take 12 more rounds to tell who's truly the better fighter.
In my view, Pernell Whitaker has already made his statement, regardless, as I've said before, of the outcome here. It would be a shame if that absurd WBC rule that resulted in a point going to De La Hoya for an unintentional butt that did no damage would be the deciding factor in this fight.
De La Hoya busier with combinations, landing more in the 12th so far. Whitaker trying to turn the tide. De La Hoya ties him up. 20 seconds to go. So far, a little more energy in 12 from the younger man. 10 seconds left. And Whitaker ended the fight backing up and clowning, which may or may not serve him well. Chapter 1, Oscar De La Hoya versus Pernell Whitaker. And off of that, in all likelihood, more to come.
Definitely.
As we await the decision, we look back at some critical moments in the fight, starting with round number 3, when Pernell Whitaker wrestled Oscar De La Hoya into the ropes and head-butted him under the right eye. There's the headbutt. The left-hand punch was going to the body, but the headbutt came up and created a mouse and some bleeding under De La Hoya's right eye. But it never really seemed to bother Oscar that much more in the fight. In round 4, he switched to a southpaw stance, and with that southpaw stance, ended the round with a flurry of punches, just as he did several times throughout the 12 rounds. Will this catch the eye of the judges? It didn't impress Larry Merchant, who thought that he didn't land anything out of that stance. I felt differently. Then in round 9, the controversial knockdown as De La Hoya's knee and glove went to the canvas while the two fighters wrestled closely together, and Whitaker was landing a soft left hand to the chin. 1 point removed from Whitaker for the headbutt, and De La Hoya probably losing a point because of the knockdown. And let's go to Michael Buffer for the decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards by way of Caesar's Palace. Here is the Budweiser scorecards. Chuck Jappa scores the bout 115 to 111. Jerry Roth has it 116 to 110, and Dalby Shirley scores it 116 to 110 for the winner by unanimous decision and new featherweight champion of the world, the Golden Boy, Oscar